Hello, hello.
Hello?
Yeah,
I'm here.
it's you. Yeah.
Hey, my name's Antonín. Nice to meet you.
Já jsem Jirka, ty vole.
Ty vole, to seš ty demente.
Jim.
I tak nice to meet you.
Jim isn't here.
Jim isn't there. Třeba spí.
Ale he's right now typing a message in a chat.
Aha.
Okay. I sent you a link to your email. So Jim. So and also on Facebook. So you can join us. Oh. Nezapomenout screen share?
Jo, sdílet obrazovku, že?
Jo. Ty to tady nevím, kde to přesně je.
Jak jsou ty 3 tečky? Ne,
Jo. Jo.
Enter screen one.
On tady možná bude jako...
No, nekonečný okno.
Možná by tady mohlo být jakože nahrávání nebo tak. Pro YouTube.
Aha.
Protože vím, že... Když jsme to dělali s kamarády, tak to vždycky se někam nahrávalo, ale...
No, asi by to mělo jít, no. Video nebyla nalezena kamera, default, rychlost připojení, OK. Chat, napovědání, nic, je tu. No. A ty vidíš mou obrazovku teď, jo? Nebo... Jak jsi na tom?
Jo. Vidím. Vidím i svou, i tvou.
OK. A jak to jenom vypadá?
Jak to vypadá?
No.
Už. Se bude za chvíli připojovat?
OK. Hele, já jsem narychlo stáhl nějaký screen grabber nebo něco takového, prostě screen recorder a už v tento moment by měl běžet, ale já vůbec nevím, jak moc to bude.
Hey guys.
Hi Jim, how are you?
Yes, finally, technology. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so Yuri and Antonin?
Yeah, hello, I can hear you too, nice to meet you.
Excellent, nice to meet you too. Yeah, so you guys both work together at the studio?
Yeah, we are co-workers.
Nice,
so
nice.
We've met there and we share the same interest in concept art and such, so yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, I was looking at your painting and this is good stuff to talk about, especially for concept artists. Let me see. I usually do my share screen with Skype, actually. Here we go.
Yeah, but it's just one way. I think that we can
does this let us both show at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay,
so we can show you some our progress or something like that.
Oh, okay, awesome.
At the same time.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you could do it at the same time.
Yeah, it's I would say it's much better than Skype. So
cool.
More responsive. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So okay. So you got you got this cool sort of shot here. Um, so like if you want to jump right into storytelling.
By the way, I don't know if I was clear enough or so, but this is like Tony's work.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Okay.
fine. Is we all understand,
Okay, okay.
it's all we're all concept artists. We all share, so it's all good.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like so whenever I'm thinking about storytelling and like just trying to set the shot, like I like to know as much about the story or the scene as possible. So Tony, if you want to tell me like what's the idea here
Yeah,
and like
the basic idea was like, as always, to create some cool shot about train robbery from retro futuristic Western future or something like this.
okay.
But then I realized that I wanted to put some nice stuff in the shot, but it didn't work, and I didn't know where to put the main focus. So it's working because now, as you see, it's like uh, some action, and you actually don't know what's going on.
Yeah, okay, so you know you're not happy with this piece because you feel like the story is not clear.
Yeah,
Okay, so like if we think about the story a little bit more, um, and this is the part that a lot of artists maybe they don't understand right away. A lot of maybe artists who are not used to doing visual storytelling, but they sort of jump right in and they start putting in the
yeah,
light and the
Yeah.
space, and it's because
yeah,
like you've got really nice like lighting here. This is great. The space is reading nicely. The volume is reading well. Both of these like and they both have like slightly different mood. That's great, but like without knowing um, what this really understanding what is the story, like what is the motivation, what is the mood,
hmm.
um, then the only way that you get something you're happy with emotionally is kind of almost by luck, you know?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, like, is this just your own personal piece,
Yeah, it's
or
just for fun, and trying
okay?
to improve myself.
All right. So, like, if you were to think about kind of like, let's say you're the screenwriter here, and the director and all of this stuff, think about what kind of a story would be interesting to you. So you have the setup, which is, all right, it's train robbery in this sort of retro futuristic world, but like, so that's what's going on in the script, but like, who is the story about, For example, is it the story of the robbers who are like Robin Hood guys who give, they steal from the rich people and give to the poor,
Hmm.
or is it the story, maybe the engineer who like it's his job to go through this bad land and he's always getting robbed and he's got to use his smarts to like get away from the robbers, or maybe it's some random passenger in the train who this is his first time exploring this weird land and he doesn't know what's going on. He's like, who the hell are these guys who are robbing me? So
Yeah,
if we think about like whose story this is, that will help us to frame the shot in a way that tells that story. So that's one thing I like to think about. Um, and we can call that. Let me just make use of our fabulous screen share here. Let me just make a note here that says we'll make a list of things we want to think about. So
uh-huh.
one, let's call this frame of reference because we need to know whose story this is.
Yeah,
All right, and then another thing I like to think about is sort of I'm going to call this the point of action. So this means we have the story. So if once again, if we're reading the script and the script says, all right, and the train comes through and then these guys start to rob it and then they go through these challenges and they shoot the guns and then they jump on board the train and they stop it and they steal the stuff and they go away. You've also got to decide what is the most interesting part of that story
Yeah.
that you want to show here, because we're not making an animation, so we have to choose. Like, if you picture this as a film strip with 24 frames a second, and the scene, let's say, lasts 10 minutes, what is the one frame that tells the exact story that you want to tell? Is it the beforehand, when they're just about to go into the action and they're planning or something like that? Or is it right in the middle, and we've got maybe like a tilted camera, and we've got a lot of dynamic stuff and action and stuff like that? Or maybe it's afterwards, when like they've got the money and they're like, woohoo, this kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
And so, like, because right now, like, it kind of looks like they're in the middle of it, or maybe just at the beginning, and I'm not sure if the action has already taken place, and so that's a little bit unclear.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
So that's another thing. Like, whenever I'm doing a piece that is trying to tell a story, like, that's sometimes the first. I kind of close my eyes and I run the movie in my head, and I kind of watch it, and I go, all right, what's the most interesting part of this that I can show in one single moment?
Hmm.
And then another thing I like to think about here is camera, because this also kind of feeds into the frame of reference, because depending on who we're talking about here, that's going to affect our where we put the camera. And actually, I had just opened up Maya here. You guys use Maya, I assume, or
I use Blender.
oh, Blender. Okay, I've never
Yeah.
touched that. Do you like that program?
I like it a lot. It's
Oh,
one of
okay.
my second 3D program I've learned. Like SketchUp was my first, but I think it's efficient enough. It's like
Oh, okay.
there's also that you can set up your lighting, and also you can do their 360. So
Oh, I see. Okay, this is where he's getting all of his great stuff here. Let's see.
Yeah.
So let's make ourselves a really crappy train. Let's see here. Combine this. Alright, so we've got ourselves a little bit of a train here, and then we've got a couple of guys here. So when I talk about doing the camera, there's a few sort of universal kind of psychological tricks you can do by where you put the camera. And then that tells us a lot. It tells the audience or the viewer a lot about um, what they should be thinking. It basically lets you um, almost mess with their mind. It control what they're thinking by where you put the camera. So, for example, um, if you want this to be a very personal kind of a story, then you bring the camera very low, because you're on the human level. So, like, this is one of our bank robbers, right? So if we put the camera right here, like right behind him or right over his shoulder or something, what is the psychology of that? That means that we are on his side. We're right with him. So we become sympathetic maybe a little bit to this guy.
Hmm.
So that's with a low camera. Generally, if you want a very intimate, like a very, I don't know, a close or personal story in your scene, you want a lower camera. On the other hand, if you want something that's more about the world, like we want to show this crazy wasteland, and it's not really about this guy and this guy and this guy. It's more about this weird steampunk world where trains exist, and like bad guys exist. Then we pull out, because it's not the people aren't as important as the world. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we could also think about it in terms of maybe let's see. Let me kind of squish this down. I was throwing ideas around before, oh, and I was thinking, well, maybe the most interesting story about any of this
Mm.
is some guy
Mm.
who's like this business guy who's sent on this mission or something. He's never seen robbers before. He's never been on this crazy train before, and he's poking his head out the window, like, what the hell is going? See, and even with this, with just boxes, you can kind of like now you're thinking, you're kind of sympathizing with this box. You can convey the emotion, and he's looking at this guy. It's like, what? Who are these guys? And this guy's shouting at him, and so this gives a really different feel than any of the other ones. So it's just a way to 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 really think about the story purposefully. Whenever I have like either students or junior concept guys or anything like that, and I see kind of um, the horizon line in the middle, I'm like, okay, start over, because this is like the default. If your horizon is here, it's just like it's kind of it's like the starting point kind of thing. And I like so what I like here is maybe you didn't even realize it, but you were starting to think about this stuff. You put a low camera angle and you put this guy close to the camera, so it seems like we're maybe meant to be thinking about, we're either sympathizing with this guy or he's a really important bad guy that we're supposed to hate or something like that. But but we've got that sort of in mind here. So um, let's try thinking about that for a second. So if for example our story is, all right, this is a really cool like Han Solo looking guy, and they rob the let's say this is some evil government train. So it's good that they're robbing them or something, like it's the evil empire. Then what we might want to do is, the closer we are to the guy, the more we can see about, his personality, what he's doing, or something like that. So, and then we bring this, give ourselves, and then this is another thing that we've got, and this is more straight composition, but of course, if you've got more depth of, going on in the values, then your eye starts here because this is the most contrast and darkest. So it goes one, and then it flows into the picture here, into the middle ground, two, and then kind of this, because we're getting into here, which isn't bad. But then what you probably want to do is allow the eye to come back around somehow. So you might either have some mountain range or something like that, or some smoke, because you don't want the eye to just go whoop, and
Yeah.
then you're done. You're done with the painting. You want to bring them back, and like, all right, we've got more to, we want you to stick around here a while. Like, to have a drink. Check out this whole scene. We've got a lot of stuff for you to look at. So this could already, to me, this is more compelling, because now my eye wants to say, oh, there's all this stuff happening in here. Like, what's this guy all about? What's his deal? Maybe he's got some really cool gun that he's got or something, or maybe he's got his girlfriend on the back of the thing, and so now we have a relationship between two
Bonnie and
humans.
Clyde.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even just that, now you have to figure out what's the relationship together. And that's already, it makes you stop and kind of consider, all right, what's going on here. So that could be kind of cool. Let's see. Yeah, you can also give some degree of a detail now to the craft, and what that's going to do is that tells you more about the world. See, you've got a train here, so that's suggesting some kind of stuff, like a technology level, but it's really far in the distance, so you can't really get a good idea. Um, but what you can do is reinforce that, with this, because it's up close. So maybe we've got all these rivets, maybe we've got, like some sort of steam kind of pipes or something
Mm-hmm.
coming out here. So now we can give the viewer more details about this sort of things. Like, oh, okay, I understand. This is a steam powered. Maybe we have some kind of steam tank kind of thing here, and so we can. So I mean, it's kind of a lot of things to do at once because you're designing, you're storytelling, you're setting up, you're almost storyboarding. You know, you're doing all these things at once. So you kind of have to switch your brain into like story mode and then design mode and
Mm.
then like all of this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, you know that might be like another interesting thing. Um, and then so now we've got and by the way, I always try to say when I do paint over, like this isn't the quote unquote correct decision, right? This is one direction we could go. It could go in another direction easily if we wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so like I mean, compositionally, you know that's starting to have at least some depth and some interest to it. And since you already have this awesome light, you got some really nice stuff going on. The directionality, this is great. And then it's contrasting the directionality of that, which is really nice. So we've got like a couple different perspective axes working on here. And then you know, as I was saying, all right, so now we've got a frame of reference. We've chose a low camera, which emphasizes you know the these guys in here. So you know, what's the point of action here? Like, all right, it looks like they're kind of speeding into the scene now. Like so, you know, this kind of we could put a motion blur on this if we wanted to, kind of go fancy here, something like that. Okay, so we're in the middle of the action. So one easy trick to sort of get us in a action-packed state of mind, you know, we can kind of
Yeah.
skew the camera. In English, we would call this a Dutch camera. I don't know what the the
Well,
Czech
it's Dutch.
translation of that would be, but yeah. But just you know, this is meant to simulate a little bit like if you were holding a camera and trying to run to catch up with the scene. You know, it wouldn't be perfectly straight. It would be a little bit crooked. So that's not bad.
Hmm.
And so, you know, okay, so we're zooming into the frame now. So this is now capturing a moment. Now there's no doubt. Like before, it was like, all right, is he just sort of parked there? Is he waiting? But we don't want people to be asking this question at all. We want them to know, like, yeah, we're totally in the middle of this shit. We're coming, like, the action is just started. Like you're just in time to see all the cool stuff happen.
Yeah.
And let's see, and you can emphasize that also with, like, let's see, I got these great brushes from Dennis in our workshop with you.
Yeah. Another tons of brushes.
Yeah, I know, and like it always takes me a million years to find the brush I want. But I was just trying to find a nice vegetation brush. Oh, too big, too big. There we go. I was just gonna put some more of this grass in here and then blow it. Then blur that as well. And let's, you know, get that in the right space here. Um, okay, so he's racing into the shot here. So what I might do is kind of go in here. Let me just take one of my brushes here, because like I feel like we want, for as big as these guys are, and then these guys are a bit in the distance, I want to push that back because the way you have it set up, or the way between what you started and the direction I'm going here, it feels like it's kind of this like the grand purpose of this I want to make it a thing that they have to travel to, so I want it to be a little bit further away.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and that's another thing about like sort of the time element. So it's just started. So if they're too close, then we feel like, oh, we're late. We didn't see this from the very start. But if we've kind of you know pushed this back, it shows that they still have some distance to go. So we can build up the anticipation a little bit.
Yeah.
And for that purpose, what we might even do, let me just try out something here. Let's go here with that. And then, what do I have on there? We could make it feel like they're coming off of like a hill or something, like where they're coming down the mountainside, and we could even maybe trim this. And if it's too much, it's all on layers. So that's the beauty of Photoshop. So we don't have to commit to anything. Try it out, something like that, to give this a little bit more space. Maybe that's a little too heavy. I like having a little bit of that, but maybe it's too much. So I mean, really, hopefully, if this is your type of thing, this should be sounding really like fun to think about, and also it should be sounding very natural to kind of things to think about, where you're like, oh yeah, I do think about that. I just didn't realize that it was a formal thing to always keep in mind. Like, does this all make sense to you so far?
Yeah. As you said, it's like the, I don't know, stuff that you don't realize until something's put a tip on it, and then you just say, "Wow, yeah, that's it."
Okay, good. Yeah, because it's kind of natural. It's a natural thing to think about, I think. Like, for me, it's like, oh well, I spent, sometimes you spend several days on a painting, and so you're spending all this time. It's like spending this time with a person, and then you kind of got to you naturally have to make up a story to keep yourself from getting bored. So like for me, when I was in high school or whatever, like I didn't know it, but I was actually kind of doing the storytelling stuff anyway, because um, yeah, it's just sort of a natural thing, I guess.
Yeah, I think these days so many artists like do some cool, technical, perfect, awesome paintings, but they are like lacking in the depth of the storytelling, and it's kind of a.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
I
that
agree.
can make like difference between you and the
I
others. Like,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, if you go to ArtStation, there's so much fan art, like,
yeah,
and it's really sometimes quite beautiful, but it's like, what's the point of it? Like, okay, you did an Overwatch character, like, so what,
Hmm.
Like, I've seen that before when I played Overwatch. Like, there's nothing wrong with like fan art or whatever, but like to truly be like doing concept art that anyone will care about, you have to tell a story a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better grass. Uh, so, so I think what I want to do next is, just because we have this very heavy kind of thing in the foreground, I want to create a second step somewhere here behind it. Just grab, just so that we don't, like, because right now we've got this long distance which we want,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to give us a little bit more to like give us another stepping stone to walk to. So it's not such a, like, okay, here's this and then all the way over there. So this way, and this is just another one of our simple tools in our toolbox. If you want to really sell the depth of a painting, you put something big in the front, and you put something a little bit medium, and then you put something small. And this guy's way too big. If I'm reading this correctly, this is a guy
Yeah.
in the back. Okay, yeah. So that's that. Either it needs to be darker, or the scale needs to be lighter, or down, I suppose, or scale down. But anyways, yeah. So like that's just a easy way to get some depth in a painting here, because we recognize, oh, this is a similar shape, so it must be like a similar thing, and since it's smaller, it's gone into the scene a little bit more, and that's interesting because now I understand the space a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think of some cool effect to have on blowing the grass or something like that,
Yeah.
lining up here. And so yeah, I'm still trying to get us into this sort of area here, and then we can have another level as well if we want, with some light coming off of this. Um,
And as you mentioned, the stuff about camera angles and all the stuff, do you have like any recommendations or source where uh, all these things are put together, and I don't know, uh, so I can read about it?
I will think about that to see if I can think of any like very centralized sources. But honestly, the best thing, the way I learned, was just watching
Watching
movies.
movies, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's
Analyzing, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like and it doesn't have to be some fancy French art movie. Like the good movies. They like good movies do a good job of communicating. Like so whatever your favorite movie is, just watch that. Put it, get a stream of it or whatever, and put it in and watch it, and just analyze it. And freeze frame it sometimes, and sometimes I'll sketch the actual, like I'll freeze frame it and then sketch the scene, and then because that gives you a little bit more time to analyze, and you go, oh, I see what they were trying to do, and I see why they made that choice.
Yeah.
But by the way, we are working every day on films, so we can like analyze shots.
Oh, perfect.
But we maybe like don't realize it, but there are some we can see some really good shots. So yeah, but we see it every day, so it's like you know
Yeah, you're too close that you don't see it, but
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
no, totally. Yeah, and and also like you're trying to get it done by 3 o'clock or something, right? So you sometimes you don't have the luxury of sitting around staring at something. So are you guys doing more like matte paintings, or are you doing more like conceptual scenes and stuff, or
uh, more like matte paintings, I
oh,
guess.
I see.
I do mainly matte paintings, but yeah, Tony does some like concepts, but for me they look like matte paintings anyway.
Yeah, because we're in post-production process, so the concepts are looking most like the final matte paints, or the demands on the quality is like photorealism. So it's no, I don't say it's not fun, but you have to use mainly photo references. It's not so much about painting.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's funny because either everyone wants photo real, or they want super cartoon. Like if you're like, there's very few places these days, it seems, that are really interested in painterly stuff. But like games is maybe the best place to look for that. Like Blizzard or Naughty Dog or stuff like that. They value you
Yeah.
know um, you know like they care. Um, Actually, if you want a really good source to look at for I just saw the art of Dishonored 2,
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
and
Yeah. Andrei
uh,
Kolosov.
oh my God,
Don't
Andre,
tell me about that.
that's I really like. I love his stuff. That's got a really nice balance between like very graphic and very painterly.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Um, so yeah, and sometimes it's good to zoom out just to make sure. All right, does this make sense? Like, see at this distance, I can easily start to see color relationships. And
Mm-hmm.
for example, I can see this guy is too dark. He is reading like he exists on the same
Same level.
depth. You
Mm-hmm.
know, in Maya, you would call this the z-axis. You know, the depth. So like it looks like they're at the same place on the z-axis. So seeing that, I can go, oh, well, that's not right, and then I can kind of go in here, put a clip mask, give it a little bit of atmosphere,
Mm.
and then another trick for that, which I usually tell people to do in like landscapes more than scenes, but it works for everything, is you just take a little strip, do a copy all, and then you look at it like this, and then you say, all right, does the space read? Even like if you're doing this right, this you should be able to tell, all right, what's closest to me, what's furthest away, and so I can kind of see, all right, I got close stuff here, I got far away stuff here, maybe a few clues to to transition in between to show me what that space will look like. Because if you do this with a photograph, if you take any photograph and you make a little strip, it will read instantly, like no problem. So that's just a good way to sort of check your space, which really is, of course, not a. I wouldn't say that's an issue for you guys. Both, your fundamentals are really really strong. So, but it's a good to have for everyone a reminder of just like, all right, make sure this is all making sense. Um, let's see.
And what?
So, I mean, we don't have to spend forever on this because it might not be what you were going for necessarily, but like hopefully the what I'm trying to get across is the thinking behind it all. It's like, all right, does this here's what my brain is doing when I'm doing this. And even if it's not successful 100%, at least the steps should be making sense.
Yeah, definitely. And I really love your thought process. That
Yeah, cool,
it makes sense. Yeah.
cool, cool.
I just wonder, what about the sky? Isn't like too? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I was just getting there because like
Yeah.
it's kind of blurry right now. But again, that's storytelling, and that's depending on the
Yeah.
demands of the scenes. What's happening. Actually, on this particular one, it looks very dusty. Like maybe there's a dust storm in the middle of this, and that's why they can attack.
Okay.
Because if it was clear, then the train guy can just go, "Oh, I see them. Well, let's shoot them." But like the only way they can sneak up on them is in the middle of a dust storm because all of their equipment's jammed or something like that. So we can do that's really cool because if it's a clear day, then you kind of have to have all right, that's got to be kind of bluish, and that's got to maybe you can get some clouds in there. But like with a dust storm or you can do any shapes you want, and the shapes will help your composition. Like if you want some contrast, like if we want a bunch of guys on here, um, then I will make sure that like if the guys are light, then we want some dark clouds right here. So like dark clouds, and this way, you know, if we've got we've got some guys who jumped up on the train, and so we want to be able to see them. So we make sure that like the contrast is good enough that we can kind of show what's going on here. Um, also if this is an action-packed scene, we can keep directing the eye by using some effects, which are kind of nice, and also they always make your shot look more expensive. Like this is like a professional trick, which is like if you if you're in a rush and you need your manager to like be impressed with your work, like put some effects in it, and then it looks more expensive. It works for clients and stuff too. It's like, oh my god, this guy, there's glowing things in here. So yeah,
But the thing with the sandstorm, it really fits the scene. I think that's cool
Yeah, it's
addition.
oh cool. Yeah, I mean,
Cool
maybe that
touch.
makes sense if this is kind of this weird Western kind of world or something like that. Then yeah, maybe like they're in a desert kind of situation. There we go. See, like before this was like I could charge maybe I don't know like $30 an hour. So like, oh my god, this is my rate just went up. And then maybe the train's shooting back, so you can kind of get some idea of some conflicts like. And let's see. Uh,
Have you seen Battlefield 1?
I have not had a chance to play it yet, but I've seen the footage and it looks
Yeah.
really really good. Have you played it?
Yeah, I bought it.
Nice.
And
Is it fun?
it's like for me it's super fun because I can walk around the environment and like appreciate the beauty and the master like the skill involved in it.
Totally. But then
And
you
like
get
so
shot
many
while you.
details and so good. But then yeah, then I got shot so many times that I always die. And that it seems like everyone's better than me. And I'm always the last guy in a in a
That's
stat.
the problem with multiplayer these days. Is
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna play this, and then some 12-year-old kid from Korea or something murders
Exactly.
you, and then you're like, well, I guess I'm not quite right for this game. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just casually will play it, and you know,
yeah,
uh,
casually.
I would rather paint.
Yeah. Actually,
than
actually, you can save yourself a lot of money just by like going onto YouTube and watching someone else play it,
yeah.
because then you get all the benefits.
The only game I would like to really play, but I can't, is The Last of Us.
Oh,
Um,
I finished that this summer.
Wow.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
amazing. That's worth it. That
yeah.
game
That
is
that
incredible.
is like top 10 games. Like that's really the what should games be.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, just the story,
Yeah,
and actually, when I said, okay, look at movies for inspiration on camera stuff, like not all games. A lot of games are kind of with visual storytelling, but some of them are starting to get to that point. And I would say, Last of Us does a very good job with their cameras in order to make you feel either uncomfortable or to make you feel like things are safe,
mm,
and then they're not safe. It's like um, tricking you sometimes. So like, there's all kinds of like psychological reasons and stuff to
yeah.
be messing with.
I just like the periods when the game is like quiet and subtle, and
Yeah.
and then the shake breaks, and it's all the madness. So it's like there's a good balance. Some games are just action and nothing else,
Yeah.
but I
Oh yeah,
really can.
definitely.
This is like the ultimate like storytelling and gameplay. It's and also
Yes.
Uncharted 4 is there. So
I have not played that. Some people say that's even better than Last of Us. So I will have
personally, I
to.
like the Last of Us more,
Hmm.
but they are both like on the same level games. But I
Yeah,
think
it's Naughty Dog.
it's yeah. It's just personal.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, very cool. So, and like, maybe we want to like this train's already taking damage, so or maybe it's just putting out smoke anyway. And it's like basically it's finding excuses to do things compositionally, but it's also adding to the story. So like the smoke might be a story element because they're shooting up the train, right? But it's also an opportunity for you to put in a nice diagonal kind of streak in here or something, or add some more depth or direct the eye.
Hmm.
So like always, where in a matte painting you might be going, all right, does this help the shot to read good? Um, in a if you're doing a concept like situational piece, you're also thinking, all right, how does this help the storytelling? How does this show affect the mood or anything like that? I put my smoke in front of the shots, unfortunately. But anyways, yeah, this is no masterpiece, but like you know, at least just by looking at this, if I clean this up a little bit, you could sort of tell, all right, we're in the middle of some action scene. We've got an idea that it's just starting because these guys are zooming into it. Um, like we know some certain thing. We've got a sense of the mood. We've got a feel for the time of day. We've done a little storytelling with the technology and the state of the world a little bit. So we've given all these things for the viewer to think about, hopefully, if we've done our job right. And then if all else fails, put some lens flares in it, and then
Yeah.
your rate really goes to like, oh my god, this guy's a genius.
J.J. Abrams lens flare.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't like it as a way to compare a little bit. If you kind of, it's I didn't really paint anything. I just took what you did and kind of messed around with it. But like, it's definitely a different mood by just changing a few things. But you could totally go in a different direction. When I first saw this, I was thinking, what might be really a cool moment for this whole thing is, let's see, I can do just a really quick kind of thing here. Is I was thinking just to myself, because whenever I see someone's painting, I try to figure out what the story is and like what would be the most interesting part of the story for me. For me, I would almost want to know more about these guys and their character. So where I would put it is at the well, just before the action starts.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, why am I not seeing anything here? So, that's too much. So I might put them, let's see, behind like a big rock or something. Let's see if I can kind of show what I mean. Almost like they're like, all right, ready, it's coming, and there's like a bunch of these guys.
Mm.
That, like, to me, that's kind of interesting. I want to find out who are these guys, and like, maybe the leader's like, hold, on my signal, that kind of thing, and then we can focus in on the expressions of like they're all bunched up back here and they're kind of waiting, and I might even give it a little bit of height. So what I might do is kind of do something. Put this way off in the distance here. Let's see, where's my print screen? There.
Yeah, like some shot in the canyon, and they see the situation, and they're like I don't know, on the horses. So
Yep, exactly.
Or mechanical horses flying.
Mechanical.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but you're exactly right. It's almost an establishing shot.
Yeah.
So, like you got you're showing the world off. You got the mountain. Is this in like a desert mountains, or are they? Maybe it's like like old skyscrapers and destroyed buildings and stuff like that. But then these guys are looking down at it, and they're kind of like, all right, let's go,
Let's do
any
this.
second. Yeah, exactly. So that might be another approach, and this is where the personalized kind of vision comes in, like because you might be more action-packed oriented, and so you're doing this other stuff that latest idea was horrible, so I'm going to like destroy that. But um, yeah, but so like you might decide to do this stuff that's like doing all this crazy action stuff, um, and that might help to sell the idea to a director better for a certain kind of movie or for a certain kind of scene. But like for a different movie or a different scene, it might be that, oh, here's this movie's going to have Brad Pitt in it, and we want people to see his beautiful face. So we need a chance for him to be turning towards the camera and looking at his fellow guys and talking and all of this kind of stuff. So it's all kind of it's a value judgment, and it's what you bring to it in a way.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's it. Oops.
Awesome.
So I don't know. Like, so as you've been hearing me talk and talk, like, and you get to think about the story a little bit. Do you have any more interesting ideas of like, all right, now I know what I want the story to be, and like what this shot, the shot is going to show. Like, what do you think?
Mm, I like the like you said, establishing shot that you see. I'm kind of deformed by matte painting, so I love to show the environment and a lot of
Okay.
stuff. So I like the idea of establishing shots, so you
Okay.
can see all the stuff around.
Sure. But like maybe it's good for you, like, because all you do all day long is matte painting. So you're like, oh God, not another matte painting. Or, like maybe it would be cool for you to try
Another.
some, yeah, a little different. It's like, all right, well, let's do something action packed where there's all this crazy action happening and there's motion. I finally get to use motion blur and VFX because I never get to do that. Like maybe that's really cool stuff. I don't know. It's up to
Actually,
you.
sorry. Actually, I love the idea as you said in the beginning, with the passenger on the train, so you can see his head
Oh, sure.
pulling out of train and shooting on the guys. Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah. Um, that's very cool. If you decide to take this further, please, like, when you do it, like, post it somewhere and send me a link.
Yeah,
Because,
I will definitely.
oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see the start and like, yeah, I'm curious to see like because for me, like, it's really interesting to see what other artists have in mind when you could say, okay, futuristic train robbery to 100 artists, and you'll get 100 different shots and moods and all that kind of stuff. So like, I'm always really curious when I talk to other artists, like, all right, what did you have in mind for this? So yeah, if you follow up on it, please show me what you end up with.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So like, since you guys have a screen going at the moment, do you have anything cool you can show me that you're working on, or
Yeah, a few thousand things.
a few thousand things?
2000.
It's yeah, I was like researching my old stuff and
Mm-hmm.
um, looking what's like good to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And I found this. If you can see it,
I'm seeing your folder. I think it's a slight lag
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
And I
Okay.
found this guy.
Oh, nice.
It's like frog robot guy,
Uh-huh.
Nice.
and like I like the idea that he's mortal in a way that he bleeds, and so he has been shot in some like maybe some duel. Um,
I love it. I love the way you put down the paint too.
yeah, so
It
I
makes it look like not Photoshop in a way. So
yeah
that's
I
really good light and color.
I'm really inspired by Jamie Jones,
Oh yeah,
and
sure.
yeah, I'm not even close to it, but it's really cool to study him, and I also like wanna try to study more American illustrators.
Oh, the classic guys.
Yeah, the golden age.
Yes, yes.
Um,
Norman Rockwell
yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah.
Leyendecker. Yeah, yeah.
So I bought a book, so I really look forward to like reading it. Um, and yeah, I was like, yeah, oh, again, technical stuff, values and stuff. But as I'm hearing you talking, yeah, I should think more, even more about the
I mean, like,
maybe something going on in background. I don't know.
or yeah, I mean, like, even the shot, you can like, you could even do a very little kind of adjustment of like, what's his reaction to getting shot? Like, see, to me, that his expression would tell a story. Is he looking down like, holy shit, I just got shot? Or is he like smiling, is like, haha, he shot me, but like, it doesn't hurt at all because I'm a robot, you know? Like, how can you give a little bit of story to that? Because it's like, even as a sketch, it's really cool, and I want to find out more. But like, if you give me just a little more information or something, or
Yeah,
like maybe he's in a room full of like all these dead robot dudes that he just cleared out the room because he shot everyone, you know,
yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
Cool.
Right?
Yeah, I should think more about like the environment, what's going on around him. Yeah, that would
You
be
know,
cool.
yeah. Maybe this is just a sketch and it's not that important, but
Yeah,
um,
I started like this painting. I started like 4 years ago or something like that, and never finished it. So I'm always coming back to it, and put some strokes here and there. But never. I never thought about the story behind it. So yeah, it's cool. Like realize it this and
mm,
um, work on it a bit more.
yeah, I have a whole computer full of like shots I
Yeah,
half finished that I will get back to someday.
yeah, and also working on panorama. So
Oh, nice.
there's like what this one? Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
it's work in progress.
I love this piece that I think because you'd started this
Yeah, yeah,
before because I saw some shots like this. I think.
yeah. It was like framed like this,
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
something like this.
Nice.
But yeah, I added like tons of details, and this whole scene is like reworked, and
Hmm.
there is some factory in
Oh
background,
man, this is
like the
it's really really nice shots. Now, how much um how like what are you doing for reference? Are you kind of using um matte paintings? Or are you working on 3D models? You're just going out of your head, or
um first of all, I was inspired by some French impressionist, and he
hmm
had this scene with this house,
yeah. Oh yeah.
and yeah, it was so cool. Like in a Paris, and there was snow, there was winter, and all the
Hmm.
colors were so beautiful. And so with this building, I was like the classical, I don't know, maisonette is called in English, maisonette. Like he
Uh,
has this roof extended and some
oh
apartment in
yeah,
it.
yeah, like a mansard roof. Yeah.
Mansard, yeah, mansard. Yeah, so and now I'm like researching it more because I realized that um, the buildings need like more characteristic, like personality, I would say. So maybe add some like touches
I
and
mean, yeah, like it depends. You know, this is more storytelling. Like, are you just kind of showing us a Victorian France or England? Are you showing us this crazy fantasy steampunk world? You know, like it depends on how much you want to do with it. But even as is, it's quite beautiful.
yeah, and um, above us will be like flying zeppelin.
Nice.
So and also there will be snow, and
Hmm.
I'm planning to make it more into animation. So there will on YouTube. If you saw the previous 360
Yeah.
that is also animated,
Mm-hmm.
and there are some,
Yeah.
just tiny little,
Yeah, like the boat
shape
going in the
of,
background or something.
yeah. So now I wanna like go more
Oh, nice. Oh,
with
you're
those
going
animations.
places with this.
So I have like little preview. So on YouTube, I always test if it works or not, and there should be a like I think you won't see it, but there is a snow like falling,
Oh, okay.
and there's a version with the airship flying. Yeah,
Oh, there we go. Nice. Man.
so it's like these quick previews. Yeah, you won't see it, but there is a snow actually falling down.
Oh, I can.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay. Well,
visible.
yeah.
Yeah, so you can look up and like, oh my God, snow is falling on me.
Yeah.
Just like again, it's more technical and.
Yeah.
But still it's a lot of fun. I haven't had so much fun like with like researching the stuff, and really it's like detective work.
Yeah.
So you like going after some idea and then you want to realize it. So oh my God, you should definitely try it. It's
I'm waiting for your tutorial. So like,
yeah, I will be putting some like quick step by step and with some
no, but well, and then I have to wait for like any time that I
yeah.
might get to do it. But I mean, it looks really cool. It's really actually, I showed your first one to the guys at work at Lucasfilm, and they were very impressed. So now,
Really?
yes, very. I mean, honestly, like if you guys want to move to the U.S., I could probably find you jobs pretty quickly. Like that should be no problem.
Sounds too good, man.
Not like yeah. There's right now because of VR too. There's just a lot of activity, and like in my area, there's limited film stuff, but a lot of games. But if you wanted to go into film, like Los Angeles has got both film and games, and really animation as well. So, um, but yeah,
Yeah, so I have that my favorite book from China Mieville. It's English writer, fantasy writer, and I really love his description of the world.
Hmm.
And so try to like make it living his world.
Oh, I see. So you're inspired by
Yeah,
movies.
so much. And I in Photoshop you can create the 360 quite
Oh.
easily, and there
So
is a function.
all you're using is Photoshop 100%. You don't need any 3D program or anything.
Basically you don't need it.
Okay.
You can paint it all in a Photoshop and also preview it in Photoshop.
And the animates and all of that too.
Yeah, animations look you can do into
Yeah.
certain degree, but it's
Okay.
really limited animations. That's
I see.
not too good program for it. But yeah, you can create it, and like this is I created in 3D, by the way. This one, so it's like preview, and if I go into 3D and camera, you can set your lens.
Oh, nice.
So
Oh, okay. I see.
And there will be city in background with parliament
Mm-hmm.
in a river, and some huts or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then some destroyed like skyscrapers,
Yeah, yeah.
and there is like muddy and people all around like not too good for living, and then two friends will be coming here, like they are going from some war, or I don't know, and they are finally home, so they're like happy, and you know, and then there'll be some like animals,
Mhm.
some cows, and then
Nice.
there'll be hill, and on top of it will be like this rich um,
Mentions.
area. Yeah, mansions with white and all glowing, just in a contrast of this. So yeah, like this, I just put some music which fits to the scene and really immerse in it, and it's like,
That's really actually. You know what I was thinking with your previous painting, you
yeah.
could probably do some very simple kind of game mechanic, like a hidden object game or something like that. Do you know that type of game where you just have a scene and it's like, okay, locate. Uh,
Adventures, you mean?
um, they have it's called
Point and click. I don't know.
kind of like a point and click kind of thing where it's like, okay, find the golden cup in the scene, and you're looking
Okay.
around, and there's all this stuff, and you're like, oh, there it is, or find the blimp, and you gotta look around. So, but in this
Yeah.
case, that would be very easy. But yeah, like people, that might be because like
Hmm.
these are great as experiences, but I'll bet if you could find some way to make a game of it, you could probably put it on an app store or something and make some money from it.
That's actually a good idea.
I may, I, me and my friend actually um, are trying to look into a little bit of mobile development or something. So like,
Hmm.
if I think of any good ways to make a game out of this, I'll see if he's got any ideas. I will let you know because like, I think if people saw this art, they would they would want to find out more and they would want to sort of be in this world and check it out, especially if you put it into VR kind of
Hmm.
as well. So like, because
Yeah, I
there's not a
think
lot out there right now.
it wouldn't be like so hard to put some basic, you know, 3D mesh over it,
Yeah, yeah,
and so it's like in a space,
mhm,
in real space, because now it's like flat
yeah,
sphere which you're in,
mhm,
and it would really look like 3D, and but I don't have just time for this. It's like too only just painting it takes so much time.
oh
So
yeah.
yeah, and
How
animation, that's also,
yeah. How long would you say this takes? Something like this would take you?
maybe 40, 30 hours, even more,
Mm,
I would
okay.
say. um, but yeah, it's like so much fun. It's so much
Oh
fun
yeah.
because you have like composition in composition, like you
Yep.
can, this is some composition, I don't know, this can be some composition.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
and some like stories can be happening here, you know if I introduce some characters, which,
I
yeah.
yeah, like what I would want to see is like the window on the building. You could click on it, and then that would take you zoom in or something, and you could see little people talking or something like that, and
Yeah.
kind of hear them or somebody singing or so. Like there's so much, especially on this, on a shot like this. There's so many like little areas for storytelling and little things happening. Of course, then you'd have to start animating humans and stuff, but like,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the thing is that when you put music in it and ambient sounds,
yeah,
and it's not moving, it looks wrong. So
oh,
you need to animate it,
yeah,
and when there are some characters, they look even more wrong than when they are like stiff and doing nothing.
yeah,
So it's like snowball, you
yeah.
know,
Then it's more work and more work and more
more
work.
and more
Yeah.
and more and more work.
But if you could collaborate with like
Hmm?
a
Hmm?
3D modeler or an animator or something, like I don't know. I could see some way for you to make money out of this. I'm trying to think of like exactly what that is, and when I figure it out, I'll let you know so that you can profit from all of these hours you're putting in.
Yeah, but I think like experience, like being in this environment,
Hmm.
it's something different than just the one shot, and I think it's cool. But this one, that's like when I first like created, it was, oh my god, I can be really there, like
Yeah.
really experiencing the world. And
Oh, here's the shot of the guy in like the train, maybe in the old west.
exactly.
He's like sitting in here. He's looking outside, and outside all of this stuff is happening. You know, like that could be another shot there.
Yeah, that's actually a cool idea. Yeah, so this is the city, and we can see like huge mass of a central train station.
Yeah.
And so, there will be small huts under the bridges, and all the bridges and all the rails like go into that huge train station.
Hmm.
And there will be like person sitting next to you,
Nice.
your girlfriend actually, which is uh, kind of a race with women, kind of like Amazons, like
Oh, okay.
um, Amazons,
Yeah.
with their, but there will be, instead of human head, there will be like um, bug head, scarab head.
Okay.
And so it's your girlfriend, but she has this head. And
Wow.
she'll be looking at on the scene, so you will like, and maybe you can see your legs. I don't know.
Hmm.
So no, it's like establishing the scene with like 3D. And this train station, you actually can see, no, not here, uh, here in the distance.
Oh, I see.
So I maybe refined more with some bridges, and
Hmm.
you know they can be trains, and smoke from there.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think I really love this world, and it could be like awesome to keep going and
Yeah, definitely.
refine it.
And two, the more you do these, the more you can think about, all right, what makes this world special? You know, is
Hmm.
it this weird, like frozen version where it's snowy all the time, and maybe that's, what makes it unique? And then you can start to build a world around that, and then you can build a character within the world, and then like who knows, maybe you come up with some unique IP.
Yeah, it's like original IP, but I I really want to send this when I would when I when there's been more like paintings. I
Yeah.
really want to send to the author.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because this is based on his book. Yeah, he might be
Yeah,
very impressed. Yeah.
yeah. I would really like to see his reactions, and if he likes it.
Oh,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
Very cool. All right. Well, that all right. Maybe that's a good place for us to um, stop for tonight, since I've got to go to sleep. But
Yeah, we need to go to work.
that's probably
Actually,
a good idea too.
yeah,
But I mean, yeah. Like, if you guys ever want to check in again,
yeah, it'd
we
be
can
cool.
have we can do more talks about theory or technique, and you can show me more 3D, 360 craziness and stuff like that. We can trade brushes, whatever. Yeah.
I think one of our colleagues, Michael, I think he will be interested too.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
if it would be possible, then we
Oh,
can meet.
absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah. We could. I mean, if you had, like, it's funny because this is what happened with my Danish school. Um, with my students from Denmark, there was five of us, or five or six, and we just formed a group, and we would all paint the same things, and we would have talks and stuff like that. So, like, yeah, if there's a group of you guys interested in this stuff, it the only thing is, because of the time difference, like
yeah, yeah.
finding the time for everyone. But this worked not too bad for me, so like maybe we can check in every once in a while.
Yeah, that'd be super awesome. That'd be great, because I can already see that I'm starting thinking about it differently, and yeah, it's so cool, so cool.
Cool. I'm glad. Like if I can help you even a little bit, then like for me, that's a good feeling, because like That's my whole purpose. So
Yeah, so thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was awesome.
cool. Do you,
Yeah, I would
like
like to thank you too. It was like digging the gold, so
oh,
I
sure.
I really appreciate it. You showed me so many stuff.
No, yeah, as I was telling Yuri, that this is my favorite. Like when I teach, a lot of times I have to teach very basic stuff because, you never know who's in your class. But my favorite stuff to talk about is storytelling, because to me that's the most exciting part. Like the art stuff, it's nice, but sometimes it can get tedious because you're painting grass or you're painting a tree or something. But like when you put it all together, to me that's where the magic is. So
Yeah.
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 If you like, I can save this out and like send it if you want to study this, or it's up to you. Not that it's any kind of masterpiece, but like, yeah. But otherwise, yeah, as I said, show me what you end up with this.
Yeah, I will definitely.
Cool.
Yeah, I will send profiles of you each other so you can have your so you can be on Facebook in
Oh
contact.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So hook
That'd
us
be
up.
awesome.
And if you want to link in as well, that's cool. If you use LinkedIn,
Yeah.
feel free
Not
to
so much.
search me up. And yeah.
Okay.
All
So I
right,
think
guys.
it was awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Definitely. Yeah.
And thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And
All right. Now
we'll have a lot of things to think about. Like,
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
and
Well-
by the way, what do you think about next American president?
Oh my God. I've been, I've been too depressed to really talk to anyone for the last day or so.
Yeah.
Oh my
Really?
God. But the good news is maybe I'll move to the Czech Republic, and then it'll be a lot easier to communicate.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. What like across the in Europe, are you guys just like wondering why Americans have gone crazy, or
Actually, we have the trial version of Donald Trump that we elected 2 years ago. So it's like we know what you're going into, but he has much more power than our guy. So
uh,
we feel with you.
oh my God. Maybe they will all get together in a room somewhere for a meeting, and then someone could just throw a bomb in there, and we can get rid of them all at once or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
They may be hearing us.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, oops, I didn't say
Listening
that.
to us. Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah.
So I think have a nice night. I think.
Yes, definitely. And enjoy your matte painting. And yeah, feel free to send me an email, and we'll try this again sometime.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right, guys.
So have a nice night, and
Yeah.
see you later.
Okay. Yep.
Thank you for your time. Bye bye.
My pleasure. All righty.
Bye.
Jsi tam, Jirko?
Jo.
Díky moc.
Jasný.
Tohle bylo fakt skvělý, no.
Jo, no určitě o tom pak popovídáme.
OK, tak
Teď už
se
musím
vidíme v práci za chvíli.
OK.
Jo?
Tak jo.
Dobrý,
zatím.
tak super, díky moc. Čau.
Čau.